Tanner, it's time to move on to the Agents of the Four Seasons. Another gorgeous anime.
Indeed.
Now, did it capture your heart?
Is it possible for Hinagiku to not? It's just one of those. What?
I was gonna say there's some people who might, not like the cutesy characters. I can see that.
Yes, true. But bro, did this show like all of a sudden go down the whoa? What happened to my cute show? These are some topics I was not ready for. Yeah. Looking at you like episode 10 or whatever it was.
Oh gosh. Yeah, I know exactly what you're talking about. The trauma on trauma episode.
Yeah. They finally divulged Hinagiku's full backstory, and holy shit.
Tanner, what's your favorite season? Who's your favorite agent? What you got? We could kind of explore a good amount of all of them,
It's true. Agent of Winter, man. It's gotta be. Like
a dashing man.
He's just the he's the moody, brooding type, right? But deep down he cares so much. He's trying to make up for what he views as his mistakes of the past. Yeah, he's just the kind of cool, like, quiet guy, I guess. Agent of Summer is honestly a close second.
No, which one?
Bro, don't even. So that's a question that I had at the end of the show. I was like, okay, so the original Agent of Summer fucking died, and then her power was then given to her sister, who's her twin, right? Twin sister. But then through the Agent of Autumn, they bring her back to life, and I'm like, so, because they still are wearing their same outfits, right? And so I'm like, is there a new one now? Did like the power magically go back? I'm kind of thinking not, but they didn't really address that.
Yeah, they didn't go into too much detail, but I believe that the power stayed with the other twin whose name I have stayed with. Ayame.
That scene was so sad, man.
Dude, okay, let's stay here for a little bit since we're on the topic. So Ruri dies, right?
Yeah.
And then Ayame goes, like, she's like immediately gets the power, realizes the significance of her getting that power because only one person gets the power of a season, and only when the previous person dies.
Yeah.
So in that moment, just the pain of the power transfer plus the pain of losing your twin sister was just so heavy, right? But even heavier than that is what she does after. When when everyone, all the bad guys are taken care of, and we have that moment of peace and silence, and Ayame is holding a gun to her head.
Oh my god.
Oh, she's like, my god.
Peace, I'm out. Don't want to deal with this.
Yeah.
Like, because we have the whole plot line of like the two sisters like being in this like kind of like ongoing argument with each other, just due to like they don't want to be split up, and they're kind of taking it out on each other, even though obviously it's only because they care about each other, right? And so the whole time you just want them to make up, and then they go and kill one of them.
Oof.
Oh.
Now they undo it through the power of Autumn, but like we didn't know that at the time.
I thought she was dead. I thought
I did too.
I was so ready. When she was gonna kill herself, I was like, look, after the Hinagiku backstory, I was ready for anything to happen at that point.
Yeah, yeah. The show was not afraid to broach honestly really traumatic topics. Like I would say, this is a show. It's not for the faint of heart.
It
Um,
to be completely specific, if any amount of like sexual assault is not something you want to watch in a show, you're not gonna want to watch this one. It plays a small role, but it is very significant and very heavy.
yes, indeed. I remember watching Hinagiku's backstory, like mouth agape. I was just like, oh my god, we're going there.
Absolutely, mine was too. I did not expect this. Like I was like, she is a child. Do not go down this route, please. Thank you.
But anyways, that leads me to my next question. Who's your favorite guard?
Guard.
Transitions like crazy, baby.
We're bouncing around, but it's hard not to.
You know what? When one door opens, you gotta walk through it. Yeah. And then when you walk the path, you gotta go back out the door. Okay.
For me, like it's Sakura because of her the dual-sided nature of her, the badass side, and then the Hinagiku fanaticism. It's so funny to see every time where she's like, yes, Hinagiku, you're the most amazing person out there. Please.
Yeah, it is definitely fangirly, but in kind of the best way, you know?
Yeah. Fangirling with love.
Let's see. I think it is really hard to say anyone other than the Agent of Winter is my favorite, but I think second place for me and my answer for this question, it's gonna have to be Hinagiku. I mean, it's hard to not root for her. She's adorable. The crush that she kind of develops, that Lash like already had, but then reignites it in her own way. That was super wholesome, and I loved every second of that. My favorite guard, and I'm surprised to say this because I was very suspicious of him, Azumi, the Autumn's guard.
Do you think you think he doesn't care at first, right?
Right. It's an act. He's playing the prince, right? And there's like something so incredibly from an audience perspective, it's kind of gross. You know what I mean? That he's playing into
kind of it. You get it though at the same time because like the Agent of Autumn is a child, right? Like she's like 7 years old or something, right?
Right.
And so it's like I sort of understand it at the same time, but like with everything that we had been presented with, all of the other agents guards, you know, they all had such deep emotional connections, right? To see sort of the opposite of it was a little jarring, I guess.
Yeah, good way to put it. Yeah.
But deep down, he really cares, Kevin.
Just the way his character evolved, especially after Autumn gets taken, he really grew on me quickly.
He very much was like oh wait, I actually do care. All right, I'm about to do everything in my power to get her back.
Tan, this show, how would you describe the show for people who haven't watched a single episode? Like, what is Agents of the Fourth Season about?
Another synopsis. Agents of the Four Seasons. Now, I would assume it's rooted in an actual like bit of like Japanese folklore. But like basically the gods of the seasons, or the goddess of the seasons, whatever it so happens to be, chooses a person on Earth, and of course only in Japan, right? To be the agent of that season, and their job is to go around and call forth the season into the world. And so they have to basically do this big migration through Japan, calling in each sort of region the season into being, right? So we first see it with Hinagiku starting off with bringing the first spring, they say, in 10 years, right? And with it, but it's only like relatively localized, it's a large area, but they have to travel to many different areas continuously up and keep calling the season forward, and that is their power, right? Otherwise the seasons will not change without them. One question I had during the show that I didn't quite get answered was, when Hinagiku wasn't doing her calling of spring thing, was it permanently winter? I don't think so. Did they just like skip spring? I don't think they addressed this.
I think it was just a long winter, right?
Because it seemed like it, but then like, what was the point of the other agents? Did they just have to sit around and wait that whole time? I guess.
I mean, yeah, they don't go into specifics, but my guess is that you can't do the seasons out of order. It is my guess. And maybe that's built into the pre-existing legend. That's kind of like maybe knowledge you're already supposed to know, but I don't know.
Yeah, I don't know either.
But hey, if you do know anything about the legends behind this show, though, we've got an email, and oh shit, I almost said the other one, animegourmands@gmail.com. I almost said the old podcast name. I haven't done that in a while. So any detail would be appreciated. We can shout you out.
Indeed. If you know better than us, please.
Oh, there's tons. Oh, yeah. Tons of people know better. Come
on. But each of these agents also has like a power bestowed upon them that is not just like the ability to call the season into the world, right? Mm-hmm. It's something that is kind of like associated with each season. So like with Hinagiku's, it's like a life acceleration, right? I think is what they call it. And so it's, she can make plants grow extremely quickly, essentially. With the Agent of Winter, he can create ice out of anything. He's basically Todoroki, right?
Yeah. Good way to put
it. The Agent of Summer can speak to and control animals. And then the Agent of Fall, which plays a relatively short role in the show, and is probably one of the least like deeply delved into. But her power seemingly is the ability to control like life force, right? Where the first time we see it happen, she heals herself by basically sucking the life out of a guy, like just through touch.
Oh, yeah.
Right. That scene also was kind of crazy. I was like, whoa, that child just killed a guy. All right. But because these agents have these powers, there are, I guess, multiple factions out there who think that they should be able to use their powers for people, for things other than just the seasons themselves, right? Because the agency that controls all the seasons is very strict about the only thing they can use their powers for is to call the seasons and related stuff, right? But there are ones who believe that powers, like, for example, the freaking Agent of Autumn being able to heal people, but it's it's an equal 1-for-1, right? It's like, because her bringing Ruri back to life was like, oh, I can just take life force from a bunch of different like people and creatures in the area, and then it won't like make a large indentation in their lives, right? Like it's a equivalent exchange to, put it in Full Metal Alchemist terms.
And everything goes back to Full Metal Alchemist. Oh, surprise guest.
Surprise.
Well, hello there.
Welcome, Cade. Talking
Just
about
dropping
Agents of the Four Seasons right now. Actually, he's going through a synopsis, so maybe this might intrigue you.
Halfway through. But so there's reasons for that. Like, why couldn't this agent be able to use her powers to like heal people, or like the most obvious example that we are shown for Hinagiku's life acceleration is, for agriculture. What agriculture does she get put to when she's kidnapped? Obviously it's growing plants used for illicit drugs, right?
It's probably heroin.
Hey, there's a lot of plants out there that
there are a lot of plants out there, and most of them make drugs.
A lot of them do, surprisingly. And so that's how like these different factions who are against the main agency operate. Now, why is their solution always we want to fucking kill them? I don't know, because like obviously it just goes to, I guess at first we thought it was a random person next, right? But I guess it prioritizes someone who is related to the previous agent, right?
Yeah.
As shown by, Ruri's power gets transferred to Ayame, and then Hinagiku's mother was the previous agent, and then it went to Hinagiku, right? Which is also where the friggin' traumatic ass fucking like sexual assault that they were gonna do on this friggin' child comes into play, because they're like, oh, because so they've kidnapped Hinagiku, right? This is the main like antagonists of the whole show. And their whole thing is basically like they want to have control of the powers to use for their own good, right? And they're like, well, if we just have babies with her, then we can have the bloodline and who the power goes to next with us. Super fucked up.
Yeah, gross. I'm leaving. Goodbye.
Hi.
I know he came in right at a point where I know that this was Cade's usual draws the line with a lot of anime, but unfortunately it plays a major role in this one, or at least a major plot point, although brief, and thankfully does not happen, is not seen through. Still disgusting, right?
Right. And to further like extrapolate, I guess, how fucked up it's gonna. It's kind of implied that's what they're gonna try to do with the Agent of Autumn. You know what I mean? It's like,
it's I guess the implication, because the main head of that like, I forget what those insurgents, right? That's what they call them in the show, those groups. She's like crazy, and I guess she lost her daughter, and now she's like trying to find someone to replace them, right? Or replace her daughter, right? Because she kidnaps Hinagiku, and then she keeps trying to like basically like force her, like brainwash her into being her daughter, right? All kinds of weirdness on that side. And so, it does leave you to question, well, if it failed with Hinagiku, what are they going to do next, right? But, oh, man. That is by far the toughest part of the show. It is only in one episode, but it's tough to watch.
Absolutely.
And it really, so like, and I guess, I'm kind of jumping around a little bit, but so the whole like driving plot of the show is Hinagiku was kidnapped, which at first we don't know why, and she was kidnapped for like 10 years or something like that. And
I think it was less, but she kind of like self exiled
Yeah.
in Rebellion.
It was a long time though. It was like 7 or something.
It was a long time. Yes.
And so we're kind of going through the story, learning about Hinagiku's past slowly, bit by bit, as she is bringing Spring through Japan and meeting the other agents along the way. We're slowly learning like what the reasoning for why these insurgents want to either kill or kidnap or do whatever to these agents, right? And so, oh man, once again, I'm kind of losing where I was going back with this, but like, so Hinagiku, during when she was kidnapped, thankfully I found where I was, where I had looped back on. When Hinagiku was kidnapped, and this is right before that, terrible scene, or I guess right during it, she basically has a personality split where she can't mentally cope with what's going on anymore. And so she, like, in a way, and the way that she views it is like her old personality died.
Mm-hmm.
And she considers that like the original Hinagiku. And in its place is now a new Hinagiku, I guess you could say, who now has like, this sort of broken speech and very much considers themselves to be a different person, right?
Mm-hmm.
And this split happens in that very pivotal scene. And she, but she uses her powers to escape, right? Thankfully. And so through that, oh man, it's hard to go through super detailed a show that is also longer than usual. It's 14 episodes, and I watched it like a month ago.
Oh, we had a whole convention in between then.
I know. Oh my gosh. But basically, like, that's how this whole story goes, is like the really main driving plot factors are like what happened to Hinagiku, what is the reasoning for all of these insurgents, and why do they want to do harm to all of these agents of the seasons, right? And then you're also learning about each of the agents and what their powers are, and like sort of like the, I guess, differences in how each of their, like, because they're almost like clans, I guess you could say, deals with everything. Because like the Spring, the clan of like Spring, was when Hinagiku got captured, they were like, all right, we'll just wait for her to die. We'll just wait till the next one comes, right? Which is like, makes you immediately hate them.
Oh yeah.
But the final resolution of the show, I believe, is really the defeat of this main group of insurgents. The main leader lady, she dies, right? I know her like boyfriend died. They tried to humanize him right at the end there, but I was like, no.
It's like, you enabled this shit, man.
Yeah, right. They were like, they tried to make you feel bad because she cared about him, right? But these are all fucked up people. None of them deserved any amount of humanizing, I think. But I don't remember now. But
I don't know if they die, to be honest. I know they fall from like a great height, but I'm pretty sure the Agent of Winter catches them.
Yeah, but like, yeah, I guess it's left a little bit open, and then we get the emotional resolution between Hinagiku and Sakura and the Agent of Winter and his guard, right? Because there's all this drama of where Sakura blames them for calling off the search, even though they were the ones who stuck with the search for the longest, right? And they feel also partially responsible for what happened because Hinagiku was protecting them back then when she was kidnapped. So yeah, I think really the what makes this show interesting is learning about how all of these different seasons work, and like how all the sort of like different like problems that are happening within each season's like house or whatever you want to call it, right? I forget the term they used. because with each season comes like a new sort of like little mini subplot, right?
Right.
Yeah, that's what I like the most about it. I feel like they do a good job of developing each character that's introduced, each agent, and making you care for them. And even though the Agent of Autumn is by far the shortest, they get you emotionally invested for sure with the guy.
Oh yeah.
And I'm glad they did 14 episodes. I think if they tried to like wrap that up in episode 12, would have been a much worse show.
Yes, would have been rough. I've been a big advocate for a while, and I think it's finally becoming more mainstream. That if you feel like your show needs to be more or less than 12 episodes, just do it. You know what I mean? Like, could you imagine if Takopi's original sin was 12 episodes? I think I would hate myself. 6 episodes was enough. And likewise, Agents of the Four Seasons, 14 episodes felt like kind of the sweet spot.
Bro, looking at you, Mikaku City actors.
Oh, geez, for real. What do you think of the art style? Art style and animation. Let's kind of loop both into one here.
The art style not nearly as standout as Nippon Sangoku.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, I like it. It does feel much more sort of like generic, but I don't want to go so far as to say that, because like that does give it sort of a bad impression. Like, I think truly generic is like every high school rom-com that comes out every season, right?
Mm-hmm. Or your
like
isekai slap.
Or that, right? But this show definitely doesn't like hold back in terms of the detail that it puts into the characters or the pivotal scenes, especially with like the calling of the seasons. I guess we pretty much only see spring, right? But they definitely put in the effort there to have like a good visual presentation, and the usage of the powers of the different agents also is very beautiful. Lots of attention to detail put into that. But
Totally.
It doesn't have such a standout art style as Nippon Sangoku, which unfortunately I'm going to compare it to because we just talked about it. For better or for worse.
Some would say it's a bit unfair, but
yeah, really like one of the most unique art styles of the past year, at least, I would say. But yeah, I don't want to say generic in a bad way. I just mean like
standard.
Compare. Yeah. It's more your average. The use of color is really good, I think.
Agreed.
Using a lot of like visual representations of the different colors, and each season kind of has its own sort of like theme, I guess you could say.
Yeah.
With spring being like pink or red, right? Summer is green. Fall is like, I don't know if fall got much of one. Maybe yellow, I guess.
Yeah, we don't really see her power manifest in terms of like her using it to call anything, because we see her like drain someone's life force, and then transfer life force into someone else, and that's like not really something that can be represented the way you call a mega tree from the ground. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. But even visually in the representation of the characters themselves, right?
Yes,
because they kind of their colors kind of match up with how you would think of the different seasons, right? You know, finally with the Agent of Winter, you know, blue, his personality matches. It's moody, right? He's cold, you could say, even. Yeah, so I think they do a good job in those regards. And like, I mean, animating someone in full like kimono garb all the time is no small feat either, I think. Right? Like with such a detailed outfit for Hinagiku, I have to commend having her be in that for the whole show.
Yeah.
But yeah, I think that's where I would go with sort of the art style, visual representation of it.
Do you have a a favorite moment of animation that stuck in your mind?
Favorite moment?
Yeah.
I guess there's a couple. One is, of course, the Hinagiku scene where she is protecting everyone in like the past, like sort of flashbacks, right?
Mm-hmm.
Because throughout the show, she kind of portrays her power as like a nothing power that doesn't do much, where she's like, oh, all I can do is make like a flower, right?
Mm-hmm.
And then they show you that scene and you go, oh, no, she can like fuck shit up too.
Mm-hmm.
You know, calls for the massive tree. You see when she like is back from being kidnapped and she is kind of, you know, dealing with the trauma of that. She turns her room into this very inhospitable environment with like these thorned plants and everything, right? She's able to like barricade stuff with the you know, different
Roots and branches. Yeah.
And so like those scenes, that scene was the standout scene to me. But then also like with the Agent of Winter blocking the bullets and shit. I mean, that's where you're like, okay, so they can be a little hype with it too. Okay. It also made me question why when he and his guard are going to like save Sakura and Hinagiku at the end of the story and they're getting shot at, why can't he just, you know, do some of that again? Instead, he blesses the freaking magazine of bullets with his power. And now when his guard fires those bullets, it creates like a big like splash of like ice out from where the bullet impacts, right? Cool. It's cool to see that they can use their powers in like unique ways like that as well. But you know, why can't you, you know, create these bullet blocking ice walls again, where now it's like all of a sudden your ice is like so fragile. What's up with that?
I don't know. Like maybe he was trying to save his energy for the final battle, but like that's not explicitly implied. And we don't really ever get to see like what are the limits of these guys' power, right? Is there like a reserve of like mana, for example, that they have to like manage? We don't really know.
Yeah, we see that like it's tiring to call forth the season. And doing it consistently takes a toll on the person doing it.
Mm-hmm.
But it seems like that's kind of implied to be like the greatest physical strain because you're affecting like a whole region, right?
Totally.
So I think there's like a physical limit to it, but for the other powers, I don't know. They didn't go into it.
Yeah. I'd say a surprisingly great scene that stuck in my mind. It's also in the flashback, but it's when Itecho kind of goes crazy.
Right, Itecho, that's his name.
And he's just slicing and dicing over there, bro. Just, I mean, he ultimately like loses, but for a moment, you're like, this is the most badass man on the planet. Like,
yeah. He pulls like the bullet time swordsman.
Yes.
Shit, you know.
Yes. Good way to put it. And I think it also helped that scene because I think due to it being a flashback, stylistically they chose to do it in black and white, and that also made it like contrast more, and it stuck in my mind more because of that. Yeah, I'd say that was probably my favorite moment of animation in this series. Tanner, any closing thoughts on the Agents of the Four Seasons? Something you want to spotlight before we rate?
Oh, I think went over it pretty thoroughly. Definitely, it's easier to explain than Nippon Sangoku because Nippon Sangoku is like
it's dense.
Yeah, informationally dense. But I still liked it, you know.
Yeah. But how much did you like it?
How
on a
much
scale of
did I like it?
0 star to 5 star, given our rubric.
Given the rubric aforementioned, did I like it as much as Bocchi the Rock?
Oh, which is your 4 star?
Which is the 4 star. Personally, I hate that I've done this to myself. Why couldn't I put some more fucking like shonen ass shit in here, man? You know, much easier to compare to. Is it better than Monogatari? Yes, in some ways.
The ones you've seen, maybe.
Yeah. Monogatari just has a lot of downs.
It has a lot of baggage. It has a lot of baggage for sure. It's not a show I'd recommend openly to people.
Oh, I do, but I do it with an asterisk attached, you know. I say it's hype, but there's a but statement in there.
Like, just watch the movies, all right? Just watch the movies.
Watch the movies. Don't watch season 2.
Mm-hmm.
The toothbrush scene.
The goated scene.
I tried to show that scene to someone recently. I don't know if somewhat off topic. I don't know if like it got deemed like too explicit for YouTube, but like I could not find it on YouTube anymore. Like it's all just reaction clips or like funny haha bait clips where it's like it stops in the middle and it's like, why are you watching this? And it's like, fair, I'm trying to hurt someone else.
I'm trying to inflict damage, please.
Yeah, right. I'm trying to show how messed up this show is in some ways. But yeah, so I don't know what happened to that.
That's funny.
But this is hard because I think truly where I'm going to rate it feels low. But this feels low because I think we've gotten too used to Amazon reviews.
Oh, restaurant reviews too.
Or yeah, like Yelp.
Yeah.
Like if it's good, it's 5 stars. No, we've gotten too used to that. Oh, what was there nothing stand out bad? 5 stars. We're too used to that. We need a little more critique.
Yeah, absolutely.
Right? So I'm going to put it at like a 3.5, maybe even like a 3.2. But considering that middle of the road is, I'm going to call 3 stars middle of the road because 0 stars is essentially like garbage, right?
Right.
3 stars as the middle of the road. I think it's better than average.
Totally.
But it's not. 4 is like, oh, this is a pretty darn good show. And 5 is it's literally like the tip of the iceberg good, right?
Yeah.
So yeah, 3.2 is kind of, it's close to 3 is where I'm going to put it.
I don't mind it, Tanner. I don't mind it. Me personally, you asked for my opinion? Okay. So I'm in agreement with you that it's in between a 3 and a 4 star. My 3 star is Don Machi. And
it's so much better than Don Machi.
It's so much better than Don Machi. So this is where the context matters, all right? Because we all have different anime, like, opinions and stuff. Like we can't. These aren't a 3.2 for you is probably on paper a higher rating than a 3.2 for me.
That's fine.
So I just want to keep that. I want to make that clear for everyone. Beyond the Boundary as a perfect 4 star. I think I kind of cooked with that one, by the way.
That is like a perfect 4 star, actually.
Do I think that this show's better than Beyond the Boundary? I think it's left a less lasting impression on me simply because Beyond the Boundary, I think what I enjoyed about Beyond the Boundary is how it evolved eventually into a sort of romancy slice of life anime when it started out as this like, it was like, oh, we're blood hunters and blah blah and this and that. It's like I think that's why it stuck with me. Agent of the 4 Seasons, I don't know if it's going to stick with me like that, but I do think it was very, very good. I'm going to go ahead and give it a 3.8.
Nice.
Closer to Beyond the Boundary for sure. Closer to that 4 star range. Definitely want to give it some distance from Don Machi.
Yeah, that's so valid.